All right, so we have my amazing client Penny here. I want to bring Penny on because she's accomplished a lot. She's been super fun to work with. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Austin Paulson. The head coach here. We'll debate on what the logo is behind us, Penny. But my company is called AP Performance, and I help individuals with their health, fitness goals, all that. So I want to bring Penny on though because she's had a lot of success. I feel like we've really worked well together and learned tons of things. So what's up, Penny? How are we doing today?
It's all good, Austin. Thank you. I'm
Good.
excited to be
So
here and share with others
yeah,
what we've done.
yeah, I'm excited too because I feel like we've really had a lot of good communication and learned a lot of stuff, and that's kind of where I want to start is to give people a little reference of like the background before we even met, right? And maybe some
Yeah,
of the goals you had, where you came from, what you've tried in the past. So I was just going to ask if you could share a little bit, before we even
okay,
started working together, what was going on.
sure. Okay. Well, before I met you through another one of your clients, so you've got a
Mhm.
good referral program going.
Yeah.
When somebody is willing to tell you this worked for me, that's the biggest stamp I can put for me to give it consideration to the experience. So that
Hmm.
was important to me. So the reasons that it caught my eye when I heard my friend Dawn was engaged with
Hmm.
you on her fitness journey was that over the past couple years, I've usually been pretty good about keeping my weight and my body type where I like it to be. But
Hmm.
there's been another point probably 5 years ago that I'd let it go, got all of, oh my
Hmm.
God, I'm over 50. I guess I'll join all the people who think once I'm over 50, I can just be a fatto.
Yeah.
Um, and I fought the battle and I won. I'm like, yeah, I could be over 50 and don't have to, feel uncomfortable with my body or settle for what it is. And then the last couple years, the hormones came on and I fought the battle. I mean, I did everything that I've known and that has worked for me in the past. And that's,
Hmm.
I'm a fighter. And I'm also cheap.
Yeah, you are.
So
Yeah.
maybe I'm cheap, but I don't like to pay for something that I already know or that I could do for
Hmm.
myself. So, of course I'm out there, looking at diet programs and oh, I tried the smoothie diet. That didn't
Oh
work, but
yeah.
I did learn I like smoothies. So I have
Yeah.
incorporated that and I keep that into my daily routine because it's easy for me for breakfast. So, but you showed me better ways to put that together that better
Hmm.
meet my nutritional needs. So that was a change up. But anyway, I tried a lot of things, and I might lose 3 or 4 pounds, and then it would just kind of come back, and it
Yeah.
was just back and forth, and I had kind of ballooned up to mass weight where it was like I
No
can't.
more.
I I mean I've been trying, and I don't use the word can't. I know I can, but I wasn't making my efforts just weren't equaling results.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? Is when I know you're an extremely hard worker and you're very disciplined. And it's like you've done these things in the past, right? And I think we learn like over time things transition a little bit, especially like you said, the hormones. And then what works in the past maybe not works right now, right? And
It
and
doesn't
so
seem.
yeah, especially when you're putting all this effort in, you're like, man, what the heck's going on? Like that should
Yeah.
be, whatever. And then you see this going back and forth, fluctuating, especially when you get down and let's say you're following something really rigid or like the smoothie thing. And then like life stuff happens, holidays or whatever, and maybe you start creeping back up. And you find yourself at the starting point again after all
Right.
this hard work, only losing,
Right.
a couple
Right.
pounds, right? So
Yep.
yeah, no, that I appreciate
I
you.
I'd
Go
like to
ahead.
blame it on a holiday, but it wasn't. It just always
Yeah.
came back. I won't. I won't.
Well,
I won't. I won't lie to you, and I won't lie to myself.
yeah,
'Cause
that's
That's
good.
if
That's what we
I
need.
lie to myself, I'm never going to get where I want to be. So it's all
Yeah.
good. So
Well,
yeah, that's kind of what had been going on. And then so like I said, I mean, after seeing the results that Dawn had with you and with her encouragement, um, we talked and understood that you could help. Well, I won't say I understood that you could help me. I'm going to say I believed you could help me.
yeah.
And as as anything, you don't know until you try it. And so,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
away we went.
Away we went, the courage, and took that first step. And you're like, well, I guess I gotta try it, right? And so
Yeah.
now transition to that, going through, the process we've worked together, and there's a bunch of stuff I get asked, but I think, what do you feel like was different of working together versus things you tried in the past? What did you accomplish? What are some of the things you learned? So where are we at now, pretty much?
Yeah. I mean, the personalization. I mean, I can read on the internet all day long. The average woman who is, 59 and a half years old and, this weight, this much overweight. And it wasn't like I needed to lose 50 pounds.
No.
I just wanted to get rid of somewhere between 10 and 20 of them and say goodbye forever.
Yeah.
And so that was different. The personalization of I've looked at the whole macro thing many times in the past and went, that just seems kind of fussy for me.
Yeah.
But frankly, I just turned myself over, and my mind said, you have hired this individual and you're paying this individual. There's no sense paying for something that you're not going to try to give your all to. So
Exactly.
I gave my all to, you gave me a macro and said, based upon what our goals are, let's start here. And we started there, and we kept, my body was fighting back. I mean,
yeah.
throwing punches, and it was real slow there for probably the first 2 months, I think, it was, and then finally, we had to ratchet me down, but it wasn't like undoable.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was probably like not as bad as you thought it was going to be, right?
For me, it's how bad do I want it, and if you're gonna try to change your life and change things forever, then you should want it bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to put in the effort, and if every time you ask me, Penny, I think after looking at your results this week, we ought to do this. What do you think? Let's go for it. I only remember one time that I was like, yeah.
No.
And that was about a particular workout.
Yeah.
I'm like, this particular one ain't gonna work for me. And you said, oh, okay, loser.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
no, you didn't.
Yeah,
you didn't. I mean, you just said, okay, I get it. I explained. It wasn't that I was just being a wimp. Because if I was being a wimp, I would have hoped you would have told me, no, it could be a wimp. But you understood that it was in relationship to a prior injury. So let's just change that out and do something different. And it was all good. So, I mean, the personalization, that's really it. I mean, for me, as you said, I maybe haven't said, or we've talked about it. I didn't need to be on the phone with Austin every other day. Oh my God, I'm driving past McDonald's and I want a burger. Talk me out of it. I'm going to the Olive Garden. What should I have? I think there was one time I called you and said, man, I'm going out to lunch with friends this weekend, and this is kind of what the meal looks like that I'm going to have. I'm telling you already, this is what I'm going to have because this is what this place makes. So can you help me figure out the max on this so that I could properly track this? And you gave me the confidence, honestly, from one time. I felt after that I had the confidence to just do that on my own. I didn't need to bother you. But if I did, I don't think you would have been bothered that I was bothering you. But
no.
I'm kind of independent.
Yeah, you are. Definitely. But I'm glad too, because it sounds like we've learned to, like, you're definitely a type of person where it's like you learn quickly because your effort is so high, and you're thinking for yourself as well, And I think that through this process, like, we had close communication on specific questions, very minimal with certain things like you just mentioned. But once you got it, you're like, okay, I understand. And then we put perspective. I feel like you gained a lot of intuition where, you were, by the end of this thing, you were answering your own questions before you even asked me, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And so kind of push there. We understood, like, routes, right? We always laid out routes, like, hey, we do this, we do this. This is probably the result of this or this. How are you feeling? How's energy? How's hunger? How's this and this? And then we're like, okay, these are the routes. Let's gain perspective. Let's learn about each route. Let's make a decision and just keep chopping away. And but the thing was this process, I guess, like, I know that Don said it was just it was easy to, once you learned it, it became not so difficult, right? Or was it super, super restrictive in the sense of, it's like you just said, you went out to eat. It's not like I have you sitting here. I like to always tell people eating chicken and broccoli, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I happen to like chicken and broccoli.
yeah. So, but that's the thing is I think that throughout this we always laid out, and it was more about this process. I feel like for you was you didn't need the babysitting, obviously. It was like I need the tools and the perspective and each step of that
Right.
perspective so that I can learn. And then now you're going away, and like I've told you, it's
Right.
a sad
Right.
moment, but it's a very proud moment because it's like the birds,
Yeah.
flying the coop. Where do you feel confident moving forward on your own?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, they always say that a parent shouldn't be raising a child, they should be raising an adult. So my mindset as I'm working with you all the time isn't that Austin's going to be here to be my guide. My mindset is Austin isn't always going to be here to be my guide. I
Mm-hmm.
need to get, self independent, get independent quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't have the glamorous goal that some people might have. I'm gonna be in a fitness
Yeah.
contest, or I'm gonna, be in this marathon. I don't have those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my vision up here of how I feel about myself. And so I think that the investment of time and money that we put in has been well worth it, so that I've gained the skills that I'm still not there today. And you and I know that, but feel pretty confident that I can get there just by continuing on. I think you've given me all the skills and tools that I need to go on. The workouts. I was thinking about yesterday. You had told me we were going to talk, and I was thinking about, what was one thing that I learned. And one of the things that I learned is nobody cares that I'm doing this ginormous barbell squat in the front of the gym with everybody looking at my ass. When I saw that show up in my workout list, I went, oh
Oh
no.
no.
I knew the day would come that Austin would ask me to be up in the front row of my gym where there's all the people doing these awkward exercises. And the first time it came through my rotation, I kind of subbed something out. The next week I went, no, you need to kick your own ass. You're going to go do it. And you know what? Not a single person walked by and went, oh my God, I've never seen something so awkward.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're doing. I really analyzed that as I was the next day, back in the back row on my treadmill. I'm like, am I standing here walking and looking at everybody in that front row thinking, oh, look at her. Look, if I'm not doing it, why do I think anybody else cares? And if I don't care, then you shouldn't care. It feels awkward sometimes, but nobody's really paying attention.
No.
And if they
No.
are, so what?
Exactly.
This is your
It feels
journey,
like you've overcome some of the, I feel like that pressure sometimes, or maybe you feel it's the confidence, and then now
Yeah.
you're doing that stuff and you're just killing it. You're out there, and maybe
Yeah.
sometimes, a little awkward to get into it, but once you get in your rhythm,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
done everything. And now I feel like you've, messaged me like, getting stronger and on these lifts and these lifts, you're like, man, and it becomes more fun once you take
Yeah.
the judgment of others out of it, right? Because nobody
Yeah.
does care, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have a little bit of gym shyness there. I kind of like to do my things. And then there's the things I don't like to,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that squats and I are ever going to be friends, or lunges.
Lunges for, yeah, those are tough. But I think that
Yeah. But
honestly, what you're saying, it's like you probably, because you were especially like the new year, bunch of people, and the people died off. You know
oh,
what?
goodness.
There might have been another couple ladies walking on the treadmill in the back row, like you were saying, and maybe they saw you, and maybe hopefully it encouraged more people to take the
Yeah.
same approach, the same mindset that you're talking
Yeah.
about right now,
Yeah.
because it's all for you, right?
I had one just walk up to me this last week, and she introduced her. I've never had, honestly, nobody at my gym. We all come in, everybody's, we don't talk. It's not that kind of gym. And she kind of come around, and I had seen her in the front row on her recumbent bike, pedaling, but not really pedaling hard. Yeah, I noticed. Okay. I didn't judge her, but I noticed because I was standing right in front of her doing my dumbbells. But she kind of come around the Smith machine as I was working on something else, and she started asking me, how long have you been coming here? And so we struck up a little conversation about things, and you could tell, she needed a few pointers about how to run
Mhm.
you know, doing a lat pull down and
Mhm.
so but
That's cool.
it's yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it's been good. I mean, I've always liked going to the gym. This isn't the
Mhm.
first time. I didn't just show up at the gym when you and I met 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I've been at this particular gym for over 2 years before I met you. And the results there again, I was doing everything I knew. I'm at that gym, I'm sweating. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sweating by doing a lot of treadmill work and some machine work, some
Mhm.
lifting. You know, I would do like maybe 20 minutes of lifting and maybe it would be couple sets of 10 on something and then move on and then I just would do the same machines every time where
Mhm.
you've taught me it's important to rotate some of those machines or you know do some free weights and things like that too
Yeah.
that just changes it up and it'll change the way your muscle the best I can understand it in my kind of language
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
will you know develop by challenging it in different ways to have control versus just having a machine that I'm pushing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Exactly.
mean, what I'd say, you don't need to be trying to be a bodybuilder to work with
No.
Austin. You don't need to have you know, a major competition or a major, you know, physical feat that you want
Mhm.
to do to work with you. I have felt very comfortable and happy with my results. And that they'll continue on, you know, happy to report with
Yeah.
my, Austin and I, if anybody's watching this, kind of have a running joke that on weigh-in day, I always weigh 1 pound less the next day.
Yeah. That's
Always.
right. Always. Yep.
So I always report in on weigh-in day, and the next day it's like, by the way, today it's this. Last week, Friday,
Mhm. Yep.
it did me dirty
Exactly.
again, but I'm good. I'm good. As long as it keeps going the way I want. My friends are noticing that, you know, they're like, how much have you lost? I said, you know, I've lost like 10 pounds, 11 now.
Mhm.
But tightened up.
You have changed a
Uh,
lot. Your composition, I feel like, has definitely.
I even dared to show the backside pictures to a friend at work yesterday. She's like,
Oh,
wow.
good for you.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
baby, check that out.
I love it. I love it. Oh man. Well, I appreciate you laying out, it sounds like we've learned the tools. That's the main thing. Like the tools to do it now, like you're getting results,
That's
obviously you've
right.
made a ton of progress, but now to go on your own, I feel like that's a huge thing that there's just not a lot out there to actually the education portion. And I really appreciate
Right.
you bringing that up because that's really important to me. Um,
Yeah.
the tools obviously accomplish things from obviously losing body fat to, obviously you've been building muscle too, but the confidence, you're just more confident in yourself, more confident in the lifts at the gym,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And I guess just the last thing, I guess you've already been touching on it, is for people watching this, like you said, I'm not just a coach for bodybuilders or athletes or anything like that. I appreciate you bringing up like you felt comfortable, confident, like I actually helped you, through the process. So for
Right.
other people, I would assume that you're friends with or watching this around the same kind of, we'll call it demographic. What would you tell those people if they were interested, if they had health goals similar, right, and interested in the program?
So for the hormonal, menopausal, almost 60 years old, I'll be 60 next month crowd.
Mm.
Um, You know, it was kind of embarrassing to me at first when I had to talk to you about that I have, you know, I'm feeling this whole hormone thing. And you, you talk to me about it. I always laugh because you say we, oh, our hormones. I'm like, oh, yours, nothing.
Yeah, I know. I do. I've had other clients say that. Like, you talk always in a we fashion. Like, yeah, I'm just really about the team, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And then I think, well, that's my hormones coming out that I want to
Yeah.
discuss. But you know that especially was something that you've helped me. We didn't even talk about it in our conversation so far that you've put me in touch with somebody. Could have probably found somebody where I live. And by the way, anybody who's watching this, Austin, I don't. We're hundreds and thousands of miles away, probably 1,900 miles away from each other.
Yep.
The whole experience has been a virtual experience. There's, you know, he's not meeting me at the gym and you know telling me you lift that one more time.
Yeah.
But he's also introduced me to a medical professional who's another several thousands miles away from both of us.
Mhm.
And she and I had virtual consultations. We started talking about hormones. She has me on some appropriate and safe levels of hormones to help with the dreaded
Yeah.
things that come along with menopause. And that part too cannot be,
Yeah.
that
That's
that
big,
part
right?
is,
Yeah.
every woman's experience is individual in that. And while you don't personally experience it, I feel like you understand it and you respect it, and have given me great guidance. And, I'll continue the relationship on with that medical professional as well. And seeing him, it's been 1 month. And unfortunately, if there was one thing I could say, I would say see her as soon as you can.
Yeah. That
It
schedule the
became,
time of things, right? Yeah.
yeah, my timing and being able to see her was about halfway through our program,
Mm.
and I would have loved to have had an
Beginning.
opportunity. Some of it, and it wasn't due to her time or your time. It was due to my thinking that my own physician could help me, who proved out not to be very helpful. So,
So yeah.
so that was on me, thinking for myself. I should have trusted
Mm.
you.
But well, good. It
Yeah,
sounds like
so,
yeah.
what I would tell other people, especially women in my demographic, would be that, there's plenty of things that you help with. You help with the weight, getting yourself back to a physical type of appearance, so to speak. I mean, it's not just appearance. Being overweight is unhealthy, and where your weight you carry it, especially, can be unhealthy in your menopause years. So it's important to take care of yourself. I want to be around for a long time, having an incredibly healthy body to do so, and God willing, that I don't have other medical problems come up. I'm pretty good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate you touching on that too, because that's super important. Everybody's so different. I think that's the first thing you said, is the personalization. And as well, they're not even really taboo subjects. They're real. There's reality of going through
Right.
menopause, different stages of premenopause or post. I mean, women after pregnancy, all these things, especially with the endocrine system, are shifting all the time as we get older, right? And it's super
Mhm.
important to address. I think you've definitely seen that, and I'm glad that we did get you rolling with the physician I sent over, and then it correlated together with the approach with the nutrition and the training, everything together, because it all works
Yep.
together, right? And
Absolutely.
now it's like you got on the track, and now you're like, okay, sky's the limit, right? So
Yep. Yep. Your little bird is ready to fly the nest.
yeah, well, I'm happy for you. So,
You
anyways,
have
thank you
raised an
so much.
adult.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you hopping on here and going through all that, Penny.
Absolutely.
Definitely we'll be keeping in contact, I know, with reaching out and saying, okay, I got
Yeah.
I got in the bikini for the vacation or whatever,
Oh,
and I killed it,
yeah. It's T minus 51 days to that bikini picture.
Yeah. All right. Well, you keep me updated, okay?
I will.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Penny.
Thanks, Austin.